What if I told you everything you've been taught in school was to keep you from reaching your full potential? To think like the top 1%, you actually don't need to be smart, you just need to change your perspective. Most people wake up, go to work, earn money, pay their bills, and do it all again the next day. This rhythm feels natural. It's the rhythm taught in school, modeled at home, reinforced everywhere. But natural doesn't always mean chosen. There's a quiet assumption beneath all of it, that working harder within the system will eventually lead to freedom. That the path laid out is the only path. That if the game isn't working, the answer is to play it better. But some people don't play it better. They stop playing it at all. They're not louder. They're not necessarily smarter. They just refuse to accept the game as given. They looked at the rules everyone else was following and asked a different question. What if the rules themselves were optional? Most people optimize. They find ways to climb faster, earn more, cut expenses, work smarter. All of that happens inside the same framework. The top earners do something else. They step outside the framework entirely. They build systems that don't require them. They prioritize leverage over effort. They think in decades, not quarters. The difference isn't intelligence, it's environment. The 5 people someone spends the most time with don't just influence mood or habits. They shape belief systems. They set invisible ceilings. They quietly define what feels possible and what feels foolish. Most people inherit their financial thinking the same way they inherit accents, without noticing. If everyone around someone believes that salary is the only real income, that belief becomes atmosphere. If everyone around someone treats risk as reckless, caution becomes identity. The words repeated most often, around the dinner table, in passing conversation, in moments of doubt, those words become the inner voice. That environment either expands possibility or quietly contracts it. Most people spend first, then try to save what's left. The wealthiest do the opposite. They acquire assets first. Things that appreciate, things that generate income. Lifestyle comes later, funded by what those assets produce. A paycheck is traded time. An asset works while someone sleeps. One has a ceiling, the other compounds. The shift doesn't require brilliance. It requires desire. Not vague wanting, specific, obsessive focus on a single outcome. That kind of focus doesn't create opportunities out of thin air. It trains awareness. Someone walking through the same world suddenly notices doors that were always there. Intelligence helps. But obsession moves faster. There's a common belief that goals are helpful but soft, nice to have, not essential. Research disagrees. Goals written down, broken into actions, and tracked with some form of accountability succeed at rates dramatically higher than goals left abstract. The difference isn't motivation, it's clarity. A vague direction can't be measured, a clear target can. And clarity changes language. Most people say, "I can't afford that." It's a statement. It ends the conversation. The wealthy ask, "How could this pay for itself?" It's a question. It opens the conversation. Price is a fact. Value is a question. One shuts down thinking. The other starts it. The same applies to timing. Most people wait for certainty before acting. They wait for the right moment, the right conditions, the right amount of information. The problem is that certainty rarely arrives. And while someone waits, someone else moves. Action without perfect clarity beats waiting for perfect clarity. Luck isn't a lightning strike. It's the result of being in motion when conditions shift. There's another pattern. Time is treated as limited, but money isn't. Everyone has the same 24 hours. But income doesn't have a cap, not if it's detached from time. The shift happens when someone stops trading hours for dollars and starts building systems that multiply money while they're doing something else. That requires thinking in and not or. Most people treat choices as binary: work or family, risk or security, growth or stability. Life is messier than that. The top earners hold contradictions. They take risks and build safety nets. They move fast and think long-term. They don't wait for one thing to resolve before starting another. And they think backward. Instead of asking, "What would success look like?" they ask, "What would guarantee failure?" Then they avoid those traps. It's not pessimism, it's inversion, and it cuts through noise faster than any vision board. They also don't let the past dictate the future. Sunk cost is tuition, not obligation. If they wouldn't start something today, they stop it today. The time already spent doesn't matter. Only the time ahead does. Focus is the same. Most people try to improve everything at once. The result is diffuse effort with no real movement. Growth comes from identifying the one bottleneck, the constraint that matters most, and fixing that. Everything else is noise. Emotional decisions are delayed. Fear and urgency distort judgment. Clarity returns when someone waits until calm. Not forever. Just long enough to think without static. And they stay longer. The real advantage isn't intelligence. It's endurance. Markets reward patience. Compounding rewards time. The people who win are often just the ones who didn't leave. But none of this happens in thought alone. Thinking isn't progress. Execution is. Overthinking is procrastination wearing a smarter mask. Better frameworks don't matter unless they lead to faster action. Freedom isn't built by doing more. It's built by thinking clearly, acting decisively, and staying in long enough for compounding to work. What's one rule about success you no longer believe? Comment it below. If this helped you, hit the like button and subscribe to join the journey toward a better mindset.